There's a lot of hype coming into this season for Platinum.
5 red lights with the German Grand Prix.
Forecasted to begin the raining until about 20 minutes.
It was hectic. It was chaos.
My dark horse is in the gravel. My kitten's in the litter.
Yo. Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Litterbox Podcast. I am joined alongside today GTR Lion, Mr. Jones, and Xanamar. And we have lost our kitten. Kitten is not here with us for today. I do not know why, but nonetheless, we have to push on. Today, we're going to be talking about, we have a big announcement in a minute. Then we'll talk more about this week's Singapore race from the Platinum and Golden class. And then the F1 race just started up not too long ago today. This week's, so we'll dive into a little Formula One action. Please follow us on the social media on our Instagram and Twitter at Trinity Racing. And yeah, let's dive right into it. Big announcement today is we are creating a new tier, new class for TCR. We have the Platinum class, the Golden class, and the Silver class will be joining us pretty soon in the next month or so. And honestly, did not expect, us to get to the point where we would be able to have 3.
There's a lot of hype coming into this season for Platinum. There's a lot of hype coming into this season for Platinum.
5 red lights with the German Grand Prix.
Forecasted to begin the raining until about 20 minutes.
It was hectic.
I'll start. I think it's pretty exciting. I'm very excited to the next chapter and getting this entry level tier going. I think as officials we have all decided to go with this one just to enable people to get their foot in the door and eventually for them to move up the tiers. They would need to take off the assist. So hopefully it will be just a ground where people would learn how to do league racing, because there's a lot to league racing more than the regular 5-lappers. So I'm very excited, and I'm pretty sure people around the US and the world will be delighted to hear that news and to join us. So hopefully will be a good new chapter for the Silver class.
100% agree. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think we run into a lot of guys who are on that pace level and like that newness. So it'll be nice to get them involved and watch them grow. Just kind of like how our Golden class was, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people on, because obviously we're more of North American oriented, and there's a lot of people on the game. There's a lot of North American drivers, a lot of Americans, Canadians, and other people in North America, but most of them use assists, or at least some assists. So this is, if they want to get involved, they would have to take everything off but the racing line. And if you're using all the assists, it's hard to take all those off and be competitive in Golden class. So I think it's necessary to have a whole new tier of mixed assists, and I think these 40 other drivers, because the assists are going to stay the same for Golden and Platinum, racing line only. You're going to have 40 other drivers influencing these new 20, trying to take that line off and move up through the ranks. I think it just makes sense. It's awesome to see that, and it's just going to be cool to see people coming in, maybe using assists, but then maybe a year down the line be top class in Platinum or even Golden, and having those assists off, improving all the time, and that's what we want. In TCR, we want people to come in and improve, and making a third class just makes sense for that, and can't wait till it begins. I don't know when it'll exactly begin. It's after this season, so it'll be sometime in May or so, but yeah.
There are a lot of league options out there for people who are just in the lobby, the online lobbies, getting frustrated, and the reason they join a league is to get clean competition. But for those looking to actually improve and elevate their game, race against some really good drivers, this is the place to be if you can commit to it. And I can promise you, if you don't race no assists, you can definitely get there in this league. The 40 drivers are there to compete with you, but they're also very just into racing, and they love helping others for the most part. Real competitive, but also just dedicated to the craft. So it's a lot of fun, and if you're serious about getting better, this is how you do it here with this group.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I love helping other people like take the assists off. Even people who used assists and wanted to join the league, but they don't want to take the assist off. At least they could go into this tier. But while they're in this tier, I'm gonna work heavily with all these assist runners to help them get it off, because it just takes a little bit of time. And we have some of the top guys in Platinum on wheel, controller, whole bunch of different aspects, and I don't know, it just makes sense. And this is where you want to, I think we have a lot of good talent in North America on the PS4, and this is just kind of that program, I guess, the junior ranks program, I guess you could say. But it's going to be the one to watch to see where these guys go and move up through the ranks. But so that's the big announcement out of the way. A couple was kind of leaked this week by me, but anyway, if you are new and you are or you're just watching this and you have no idea about TCR, take the time. The link will be in the description for the website. You can look on the information on that, and get involved with the silver class. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think that is, I guess, all right. That's just big news out of the way, and it's awesome stuff moving forward. And maybe in a couple months we'll announce a new tier. But thanks for everyone, for the officials, commentators, people who just come here to race, anything that people contribute to. Past drivers, everybody. It's been it's taken a long time to get here, but I think now there's really nothing gonna stop us. So yeah, looking forward to the future, and yeah, that's basically it. But moving forward, I think we still have to focus on the Golden and Platinum classes. I mean, they're just midway through the season. Let's talk about Platinum. I'm looking back of like, oh, what happened in the race? I was kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah, you were at the front of it.
Narrate the race about me, so I don't know. how that's going to. Sean did win, so congrats to him. But the Torosos look good. That's all I'll say. What do you guys thoughts,
Let
opinions
me
on the
let me
timeline?
dive. I want to ask you some questions straight up. Freeze, you were right at the edge of the battle here, right up front for a lot of the race. You went with the two stopper. Sean went with a
No,
blistering,
you're wrong. You're wrong.
or I'm sorry, one stopper. You two sets of tires. I got that wrong.
No, you're
Sean went with the kamikaze run two stopper. And it looked like both of you planned that from the get go. So it kind of laid out the table right in front of us, and it was pretty fascinating to watch. But at the very end, let me start here. Swarner was holding you up for stint one, yes. This was I don't remember which lap this was, but Sean had gone in for his first stop already. He's taken off, trying to build a gap, and you're kind of in a group of drivers getting held up. So that helped him build his gap a little bit. But then when you finally got clear, you got your one stop in, you were well in the lead with Sean chasing you down. I mean, what's going through your mind at that point, and what was it like to fight for the lead for a bunch of turns there? I mean, it did not look like you wanted to give that one up.
No, definitely not.
I've never seen you race like that.
Well, there's a lot more to come. I'm back, not 100%, but I'm on my way coming back. I don't know. It was cool being back up there. A lot of practice this week. But in that first time when I was getting held up, I think it was Swarner.
Yep.
Although that's just how that is. Now I don't know if he
wasn't team orders apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if Swarner tried a little harder to hold me back. But I also don't think Sean was thinking I was even a threat at all. So I think I gave him a good run for his money. For him to win by 1 point whatever seconds. I mean, I don't think he was really thinking of me more, though. Maybe go to Breezy and Town. The other guys, I
Right.
wasn't really anywhere throughout the whole season. So I don't know. I don't think Sean was like, "Oh, Swarner, hold Seafreeze up," because maybe in season 5, but I don't think this season. But at the end, I said to Talon, "Hold Sean up like he's a monkey." So it came back the other way, and Talon tried as hard to slow him down. So it just goes around. That's just how it is. But I don't know. It was cool at the end. I mean, I didn't want to give it up, but yeah, it just almost there, but not quite. But yeah, like I said, I knew he was going to do the 2-stop, but I was actually surprised where I finished, and even to get a podium was good. But I was so close for a win. But we'll get it. I guess 2 weeks in Germany, and we'll go through there. But good day for Toroso. We're now in the lead, Town, and it was a good race. And it was fun. I like to be mixing it up towards the front, so that's exactly what happened. But couple mistakes here and there, but that was it. That was a good result. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning like the top 5 teams are separated by 31 points or so. So I think the Constructors' Championship is definitely going to be interesting this season.
Yeah, it's really
even
tight.
the drivers, the top 4, they're pretty close. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sean jumped a little bit ahead. He's been whenever he shows up, he's in the top 4. So, but second through 4th is pretty close. I think this season is definitely one of the hottest seeding so far.
I agree. It'll be even hotter when I get it back in the mix next season. Wait, if you think this one's good, GT, wait till next season when I'm back. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of teams. I mean, Talon and myself for Toro, so Breezy, Damaso, Sean and Swarner, even the Saubers of Go2 and Starboard. I think those are the top 4 teams, as well as the Mercedes of Psycho and ZX.
Yep.
Those teams, I mean, every week it's a battle. I mean, every week, and I think race 7, we have a couple, a little bit more than halfway. 8 races left, so a lot of things can happen and change. But I'm more focused on like Go2's side of things and what he can do, because he was the first person to win 2 races in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Was it Austria and Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
He was the first to win 2 in a row. Now Sean comes up and wins 2 in a row. Will he make it 3, or will Breezy come and make it 2 in a row? You know what I mean? Like, Go2 kind of slacked off the pace a little bit from Britain, where Sean won. And even last race, 5th. I mean, last season, this guy finished on the podium every race but one, I believe. And he was so consistent. Now it's so competitive. It's really interesting to see that if he makes any mistakes, he's going to get swallowed up by these other drivers. And, having a top 5, 5th this week, I think, and 10th in Britain, it's just not going to cut that. It's not going to work. But
so definitely, this season is not a season where you can. I don't think anyone could easily win without putting in enough time practicing, because everyone's practicing and everyone's quick. You can't just jump into time trial before the race and expect to win. It's not the competition this season. It's way more, which makes it exciting. But yeah, definitely, it's one of the good seasons.
Let me, can I ask Xander here? Xander, you go from pad to wheel this season. You get the fan attack, you jump in TCR Season 7. You don't start race 1, you DNF twice, and now you're 3 out of 4, you're in the top 5. How good you feeling going into the final half of the season here?
No, I think it should be okay. To be honest, with Singapore, I had wing damage from lap 5 on with that little tangle up I had with Joe. So take that damage out of there, and I don't think I would have been as far off of the lead pack. So otherwise, it's finally at a point where I'm comfortable on it and not making the same little mistakes as I was earlier on. So it should be pretty good.
Wait, so if you think, let me ask you this: because you were ahead of me, if you didn't have that wing damage, do you think you had the same speed? So maybe, or how was your pace? Because then you went in the pits.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Because the first So what happened was, first stint, I was with Sean the whole time, and that was okay. I mean, towing along in the slipstream and everything was good. Unfortunately, Sean pitted early, and I knew for sure Sean was going to 2-stop regardless. Right. He's pretty tough on tires, and I was still going to go for the 1-stop. So I stayed out the extra lap, and obviously my tires started to fall off, and Joe kind of came in at me, and then unfortunately we had a tangle up in turn 1, which gave me a light yellow wing. I didn't notice it at first. I retained the spot and then came back around. And didn't realize until I had already put the new tires on and was already out that I had.
So you didn't even do wing
damage. No, I didn't even notice, and it didn't automatically do it because it wasn't enough damage.
Right.
It was like a lime green front left wing. So that hurt my pace enough where I was just understeering out of those turns a little bit. That's why I didn't put up much of a fight with you either. It's I just couldn't battle on it. So
right, that makes more sense.
If
you did have wing damage, you would have changed, and you would have came out behind me then anyway.
Yeah. I had enough pace to keep Go2 back far enough, and I just I was like, all right, let's just finish it as is. It wasn't worth. I don't think I would have made up enough of a difference if I pit again to then change it.
Yeah, sometimes the game is not friendly when it comes to auto repairs, especially when it's light. So you gotta force it to have the wing with red. Yeah, happened to me a few times, but
All right. Well, anything else on platinum? Any things that kind of stand out? I think those were kind of the big talks, the lead, and your incident with you and Xander and Breezy. That was kind of the main focuses. I think we can move on to platinum, right?
yeah, we can move.
All right. So golden class. I commentated with Dre. It was a full intermediate race, and I forget who had the pole. Jones, you know that? Who had the pole? Was
I
it
don't.
Darkest? Oh, it was
It
Darkest.
was Darkest,
Fatal
yeah.
on the front row, right?
You're right.
Yeah. And Torosso front row lockout. It looked so good for them. And going into it, they had a good start. Darkest and Fatal going through the first stint on the intermediates. And Mitch started a little bit farther back in the grid. I think P9 or somewhere around there.
9th or 10th, yes.
Yeah, about middle pack. So it's hard to overtake, but as we saw in Austria, Mitch is really good in intermediate, at least intermediate conditions. We haven't seen him in the full wet yet, but he just started picking away, and he stayed out a long time. He stayed to about lap 20 or so on those inners, and then pitted,
yeah,
and then had the better tires at the end. And when he pitted, he came out right in between the two Torossos that had maybe 10 laps on their tires already. And man, did Darkest Crime, did he put up a great battle. Really good defensive maneuvers. His tires were dead. I talked with him this week. He said he was just trying to hold Mitch up so Fatal could get past. And obviously that's what it looked like, but he did everything fair in the books, and it was really good battle. I thought I was legit watching something like on real F1 with the Mercedes versus Ferrari tactics and all this. It was kind of cool to see, but at the end, Darkest locked up into one of the corners, and Mitch took the lead, and Darkest fell to I think 5th or something, and Fatal another podium. Another shot for the win, but ultimately coming up P2. And then I think Giggle, the other Sauber, gets P3. So it was a little battle between the Torossos and the Saubers. But ultimately, Sauber got a 1-3 and really outperformed. Any thoughts on the Golden? What do you guys think?
I think somebody's got to put a complete race together and put a real challenge to Mitch, and it'll get interesting in a hurry. Just continue to be impressed by how prepared and consistent Mitch is in these races, and as a competitor, I love it. So I want him to keep doing his thing, but I want myself or somebody else to start putting it together and give him a fight.
All right. I agree. I think, you had a mistake coming on the straight.
Last turn on lap 1, yeah, I was not happy with myself there.
What happened?
Just a simple case of too much throttle. I'm not very experienced in the wet on the wheel yet, but not an excuse. I made a mistake, and I paid for it. But and then also I ran into the back of someone, kind of got brake checked and had wing damage lap 1 as well. So that went the whole race like that, and I mean, happy with the result I got out of it, but just unhappy with another race with a mistake.
Now, if you didn't make that mistake, do you think you could have won?
I absolutely could have won. I was very good on the enters.
Jones says it. He says it, but he doesn't back it up.
I've got the stuff to beat Mitch, and I will when I put my race together.
All right. Well, when will that be?
That's a great question.
If only you knew. Well, Yeah, I mean, let me go through the lineup. GT, Xander, any thoughts on the Golden? Did you guys watch it or not really?
I think no, my thoughts are very consistent with you guys. So just yeah, I think someone has to put something together to and put up the fight to Mitch. I think I don't know on top of your head if you know what's the the record for back-to-back wins in TCR.
I think it was
I think
5. I thought we
5
brought that up.
is. I think he tied it with Destiny. Obviously, Destiny won 5 in a row. I think he won the last one in season 3, and then 4 in a row in season 4. So that's kind of 5 in a row.
Yeah. Well,
And
Mitch is on 5.
that
right?
was when we had that one tier, though. So that was everybody we had in there. This is 2 tiers. So obviously, if you were to do that in platinum, that would be something really something to talk about. But it is in a lower tier. But it is still remarkably really well, because the ways he did it is not the ordinary way you would think. I mean, he didn't even have a pole position. And in the 5 races he's been with us, it's just his race pace and good intermediate conditions as well, and just overall racecraft and strategy, everything just put well together.
Well, it should be said. It should be said he qualified on a wet setup, so he was not exactly set to get pole. We all qualified on hypers. He was again more prepared than everyone else. He was on a wet setup, qualified 9th, and that's how he was able to drive through the field. He was ready for it.
I mean, I don't think he's unbeatable, that's for sure. So I look forward to seeing someone do it.
We'll see, I guess, in Germany, if someone will beat him. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think someone will beat him next week, or we'll have to see who. But I don't know. It just has to be done. Someone, something is gonna happen soon. But that's basically it. I mean, really good race. Basically the Torosso v Sauber, and Mitch was able to capitalize. But let's, I guess, talk more real F1 talk. That was the Australian Grand Prix kicking up the season. I have a couple thoughts on this. Hamilton gets the pole, and Mercedes lock out Bottas right behind. Then you had Vettel, Verstappen, Leclerc as far as the top cars. Gasly getting knocked out in the first round, and Haas also had some good qualifying with 6th and 7th. So it was kind of as far as qualifying, just a little crazy with Gasly getting way down and Haas getting so close. To actually, they weren't too far off like Ferrari. I know Ferrari is didn't really figure it out, but in qualifying, the Haas car was not that far off the Ferrari. I mean, that's what I kind of got out of it, because I think last season or whatever, I think Haas said we want to be within 1 second of Ferrari. They were within half a second of Ferrari.
Yes.
And I know Leclerc is the newer driver and he has more to learn, but still, Leclerc was only 1/10 off of Vettel, I think, or something like that, or
3 tenths.
3 tenths. So they're still very close.
I'd assume
a different thing, but that kind of really shocked me as far as the qualifying one.
I think Leclerc's lap was a little bit scrappy. I think
he went off.
I think in the race he kind of showed it, that he not only copped the Vettel, he did it twice, even after they said to back off.
Yeah,
definitely sent a message. So
with
he's also had a lot fresher tires in that part of the race.
Yeah. With the qualifying, I just want to I looked at the numbers from last year, and the three top the three top 3 teams and Haas all made Q3 last year. Haas improved by 1.3 seconds on their best time, and the top 3 teams improved by something like 0.6 seconds. So Haas is really really improved this year.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it now. Even if Vettel's last lap in Q3 to Grosjean's last one is 121.19 for Vettel and a 121.82 for Grosjean. So
Yeah,
you're talking 7/10, which a little, that's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. I'm actually, for a mid-team, and that's pretty good. But getting to the race, it was, I guess, the Bottas show.
Yeah, I think
I'd rather
Bottas is
have
on to
that than
something this
Hamilton.
season. I think
But,
Bottas is on to something this season. he's
think-
gonna be the Rosberg of 2019. He's not gonna stand down by any chance to Hamilton. He's gonna put up a big fight,
could be.
and he's
Yeah.
capable of doing that. I think his mindset now is locked down on getting a championship.
This is his
And
last opportunity.
yeah,
pretty
and
much.
I think he's capable. I think he's capable.
I think
not
it's
gonna
the
be
new
easy.
beard. I think the beard got something. He's got a new look. He's a new demeanor. I think this is his last year on contract, I believe, and if he plays second to Hamilton, Mercedes will shake his hand and say, "Great job, we got a constructor. Move on." They sign Ocon or whoever else in that seat.
Yeah.
Or Bottas does not obey their orders, does a little bit more, for himself, stubborns up a little bit, wins these races, kind of like Australia, giving a statement at the beginning of the season, exactly what he needed to do, and beat Hamilton. And then, even if he doesn't win against him the whole championship, he has two ways to go. Either, do what the team says or do, what you need to do for yourself. And either way, he's going out, in my opinion. So you might as well do good for you, and at least say, I tried everything I could do. I think if he is to leave the team and look back at it and say, the team told me I couldn't pass him, or the team said that, I feel like that'd be hard to live with. So I think just that new demeanor, just doing what he needs to do. That's exactly what he did. He even got the fastest lap, which is a new thing this season, which he got 26 points.
We might want to consider that, but on a different topic. Offline.
Oh, yeah. That's behind closed doors, board of directors meeting. But I don't know. It was nice to see, because I'm not a huge fan of Bottas, but it was good to see him win on the first race. I would not expect that, but he won by a lot too.
Yeah, I want to mention something there, because the first race, we're getting a feel of where all the teams are and stuff, and yeah, Bottas ran a pretty flawless race, but he also had the preferred tire strategy, and we saw that not only with Mercedes but with Ferrari. We saw it. We saw it the other way with McLaren. The guys who stayed out longer on that first stint were much faster at the end of the race. It wasn't even close. So Vettel paid the price for that. Hamilton paid a big price for that.
Mm-hmm.
Vettel and Hamilton were not separated by that much. So as slow as Vettel was, Hamilton was also pretty damn slow. And that was all the tires to me. And then with McLaren, I was really impressed with Norris in qualifying, and I thought his team screwed him over in the race. He pitted early, and they put him on the hard tire, which was definitely the wrong move. So that's what backed him up. So the tire strategy made some people look much slower than they were. And with Ferrari's case, Leclerc looked like he was much faster than Vettel, but he was on much fresher tires. Much fresher.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I think that the season, up until I don't know, 3-4 races in, is when things would start to shape up. Hopefully Ferrari still has something in the bag, and at least we'll have a four-way battle, or it's better than within the same team even. So hope the show was good.
I think it will. I think it's just kind of this track, but I agree. Going back to Jones, Norris, he kind of surprised me, and I'm kind of tripping on board. I think he had some
There we go.
good stuff in the race, good qualifying. I don't know exactly where he qualified.
Eighth. He qualified eighth in his
I mean,
debut.
really, really good. I mean, outperforming Science, who just had not the best weekend at all. Good stuff by him. But the big thing I want to talk about is everyone really, I don't know, I guess doesn't like him or whatever, but Daniel Kvyat outperformed a Red Bull.
Oh, he drove the wheels off that car today. He was
nothing
impressive.
You can say to tell me that, Gasly had this problem, this had. No. Kvyat in the Toro Rosso just beat Gasly in the Red Bull.
Straight up, too.
That's straight up. Exactly. That's how it was.
Yep.
And and this brings, I don't know, I think if because we've seen Red Bulls from last season start from the back a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Verstappen at Monaco, Ricciardo a couple times at some other tracks. And even at Monaco, Verstappen overtook and got into the points. Gasly didn't even start all the way in the back. He started 17th, I believe, and got to 11th, which isn't, I guess, terrible, but he's in the top tier team. I mean, his teammate finished on the podium, so that car is capable of that, and he couldn't even get past a Toro Rosso.
Yes, I thought that said a lot more about Gasly than it did Kvyat, but Kvyat, yes, an awesome drive today.
I mean, yeah, that was really good for him, and I think going through the season, I'm going to be more evident what Kvyat really does have. I think he's got some real talent and skill, but overall, wasn't the most exciting race, but I do think there was a little battles here and there that I was kind of happy for Bottas and Kvyat and Norris had and these other things.
What about on the broadcast? If you watched the whole race, it was almost as if it was scripted. But you had Verstappen overtaking Vettel. You had a Red Bull overtaking a Ferrari in a race on the front stretch, while Daniel Ricciardo at the exact same time is being pushed into his garage.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
not only
what
that,
a decision by Ricciardo to leave.
And you know what? Going to that, I think Verstappen said something in an interview. I don't really know where, but he was like, what do you think of Daniel going to Renault? He's like, I don't know. Can't wait to lap him next year, which is it's so true. I mean, it's a big gap from fourth to third, and they might be even fifth or sixth because Haas really stood out. But it is just one track. But I don't know what kind of made me. It was kind of like Ricciardo has such bad luck at Australia. Like, I mean, that was all him. I mean, that guy just drove in the lawn.
he got out qualified as well.
Yeah, I mean,
not a good show.
Not something he's used to. He's been in the front a lot, and he's a good driver. But yeah, to have it, basically a race over, but not even to turn one it's really gut wrenching for him. But there's a lot of topics to talk about. But I think going through the season, it's just going to get better. I think Ferrari will come back. Red Bull will be there. I think it's going to be like that, but depending on the track and just have to see how it goes. I think we'll see how it goes.
I think we're up to 2 good seasons, both in TCR and the real F1. So
yeah,
we was boring weekends over the past 9 or 10 weeks.
Oh yeah. So we're back on board. And I stood up for this too. I mean, the race was 1 in the morning for me. The qualifying was even 2. I stood up for it. Wasn't maybe the best race to stay up for, but I had to. It was the first race.
Yeah,
you have to. But yeah, I thought it was quite exciting just seeing those little things that I was kind of pointing out. But
Bahrain should be a lot of fun, and we'll get an even bigger mix-up of the grid, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll get to Bahrain in the next podcast, since I think they'll have race completely next week. But any final thoughts on the F1 talk? If you're watching on the stream, just let us know what you guys think about the F1 race, Singapore race from TCR, as well as the new class. Let us know what you guys think, and what should we talk about in the next podcast and moving forward. I think that I guess does it, right?
Yep.
So give us some support and feedback for the new class in F1 and all that, and make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you are, hit the bell while you're at it, and we'll see you. We're off this week, but we come back at Germany. We'll have another litter box before the German Grand Prix, and